This edition of the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs? The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bringing your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show. It's time to give a shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, then you'll love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia. Available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. It takes place in 4 countries with 2 strangers and 1 target where truth is an illusion and those you love will be the first to go missing. It's available in paperback and ebook on Amazon. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and is even loved by Hollywood celebrities including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today. Order Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, now available at Amazon.
It's now time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, YouTube, iTunes, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and the MikeWagnerShow.com. Mike brings you great guests and interesting people from all across the globe. So sit back, relax, and enjoy another great episode of the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget? Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, time to give a official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mian Mohsen Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forbes Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for those Missing by Mian Mohsen Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? And whatever gift for Grandma's recipes are, just because those smiles and tears, they'll just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw, Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bring your memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. And don't forget to check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms, including the MikeWagnerShow.com. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter today at the Mike Wagner Show. Check out the great merchandise at the MikeWagnerShow.com and also on Amazon at the Mike Wagner Show podcast. T-shirts, pop sockets, throw pillows, tote bags, a lot more. Makes great Christmas gifts and year-round 24/7 too. So make sure you go to Amazon for that. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mian Mohsen Zia store, available, and you can get Missing, Once, Wrinkles, a lot of great merchandise, T-shirts, pop sockets, hoodies, a lot more. Make sure you order today, and don't forget to support the Mike Wagner Show generously at the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also support us on Anchor FM and also PayPal as well too, and make sure you give generously today. We're here with a terrific lady who grew up in the least populated city east of the Mississippi River and went to Berklee College in Boston. Then she went on to New York City. And she also has some great music, and she prepared a stripped-back Americana style of EP, but held back due to the pandemic. And this one has an amazing combination of social activism, Jewish spirituality, herbalism, folklore, and more. And it's been 10 years in pretty much in the making, and we'll be featuring Rocksteady in just a minute as well, too, and also featuring her some of her other works. EP debut is coming out as well. Live, ladies and gentlemen, from the Plus Studios somewhere in America. Very multi-talented and loves a Rocksteady, the very multi-talented singer-songwriter, Elana Brody. Elana, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us today.
Thank you, Mike, for having me. It's awesome to be here.
Well, it's great to have you on board as well, too. So you grew up in the least populated city east of the Mississippi River. You attended Berklee College in Boston. Then you went on to New York City, and you also on the verge of preparing for a stripped-back Americana EV. But due to the pandemic, you pretty much changed course, and we'll be featuring Rocksteady in just a minute. We understand you'll be playing live as well. You have a debut EP that's coming out this fall. You have some other works as well, too. And one of the songs took 10 years as well. And before we get into all that, Elana, tell us how you first got started.
Yeah, that's a lot. I'm curious which one's 10 years. I have so many songs. How did I first get started? I grew up in a musical family, and my dad played guitar, my mom played piano, and we just all entertained ourselves. It was not a city that I grew up in. I grew up in the most rural place east of the Mississippi. So actually, there were no people, there was no, stores to go to. The way that we entertained ourselves was by being on the farm, being out on the land, being in the forest, and singing and dancing around. Yeah. Being out in the garden or, singing. So, I have two sisters. We just all sang together. And, then when I was around 12 years old, I was taking piano lessons actually for a few years, and didn't have the mind. I was too right-brained, I guess, to really play all the dots on the page. And basically, as soon as I'd put my hands down, I'd want to find out how to move my fingers to make something that sounded like a song to me that I liked. So I kind of moved quickly from trying to learn written music to playing my own and writing my own and finding my own way by ear. And then I wrote songs starting around 12 years old and didn't really stop, and so that's why, so I went into Berklee College of Music kind of on the realization that, my biggest passion when I'm not doing anything else is writing songs, and also my skill, my gift. So.
Mm-hmm. And what was that one precise moment that simply influenced you into what you're doing for the rest of your career?
Well, that's a good question. I think having the inspiration of other female singers, songwriters has got to be the thing that, kind of got me to keep going or to do it, or to believe in myself, to also to be experimental. I think because I was playing by ear so much, just wanting to emulate all kinds of things and all kinds of styles and enjoying all kinds of styles. So I don't exactly know how to answer that question, because I don't know if there's a moment where I was like, yeah, because my career feels also like there's like an authenticity to experimentation. But that might not mean that I'm making experimental music. It just might mean that I'm making a pop song, and then I'm making a folk, really diving into folk music, which, so at the moment, and then I've got like kind of a cabaret song that I'm excited to put out. And, there's all kinds of Jewish songs that I'm writing. So I think, it's an interesting question, because I don't know if there's a moment or if it was just do it, people say, I think they're saying like, if you can't, like if it's like breathing or water to you, meaning you'll die if you don't do it, then it's real. So I'd say it's like that. Whatever the moment was where it's like, well, if I don't keep writing songs, then I'm not really myself.
Wow. Okay. I guess somebody was trying to get your attention there. So they're like, come on, play.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. Actually, now that I just said that, it made me think of my grandmother, passed away. And once upon a time, we were at this dinner that had a band playing. It was like some kind of benefit she was invited to go to.
Mm-hmm.
There was a band, and she was very charismatic, and I think she wanted me to get up on stage and sing with them. And I was like, no, I don't want to get up on stage. I was probably 16 or something. And she's like, you will never be successful if you don't get on that stage right now.
It's like a threat. It's like, shut up and eat.
Exactly. So I think maybe that was the moment. Maybe that was the moment. She instilled that boldness. Actually, this is her painting right there. It's kind of, there's a little boldness in it. It's huge,
Oh, wow. I like the array of flowers you have there. I like how the roses are separate. I think you have lilies, and I think you got willows, and I'm trying to see what else is there. Is that the tulip, or I'm trying to see what the white ones are. So those tulips or
those are lilies, and then
lilies. That's what I thought. Okay.
Yeah, and then those red ones I think are birds of paradise. Wow. And calla lilies. Yeah. She was really into flowers, but I think there's something. It's like, yeah, she was bold, and she pushed me, and she didn't accept the kind of weakness of, oh, I don't want to do it, or I'm embarrassed. It was kind of like, nope, if you don't do it, she would have been my mom was a hippie, she like wanted to garden all the time. But if my grandmother had been my mother, then I probably was one of those kids that was like dragged around to, TV shows and stuff.
Right. Yeah. And I was thinking about with you being in the garden, and what would you say your favorite moment was in the garden? Like, say, your favorite flower, vegetable, or whatever it is. So.
No, that's a good question. My favorite moment, like as a kid, my favorite moment was definitely when my mother let me plant something. So I remember one year I was in charge of the flower garden. My mom was a little protective over her vegetables because she was really, really old school. Like, she grew all of her own food and put it up for the winter. She was living off the grid for many years.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So my mom, really was protective over things. So she would just do it herself. But one year she gave me the flower garden.
Oh my gosh.
Flowers. I felt really sweet.
Oh, that is so amazing as well, too. I would have loved to talk more flowers, vegetables, and everything else. But you're here to talk about your amazing career and, going from the garden over to the stage and everything. And who are some of your favorite artists, singers, and musicians growing up, especially with you growing up in rural Virginia, east of the Mississippi River?
Right. My mom was a Joni Mitchell devotee. So I'm pretty sure the album Blue and Ladies of the Canyon were very, 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 written under my skin, in utero. Mm-hmm. And my mom also rocked out on the piano a little bit, like Joni on the piano. So that style is really in me. And, I always gravitated to pop music as a kid. And, we had 2 radio stations that came through because it really was really rural. So there were there was one pop music station that was my station, K92. Mm-hmm. 92. And in Roanoke, Virginia. And so whatever was on the radio really inspired me. The song Killing Me Softly was my deeply moved me. Lauryn Hill's voice got really, really under my skin. I remember that. That was clear. That was my favorite song for if I had a favorite song as a child, it was that. And then it was Celine Dion.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then as I grew up, it was like, Ani DeFranco, I was really into her writing, and I got really into Led Zeppelin. I got into Bela Fleck and the Flecktones, more progressive writing, more funky stuff. And then I got introduced to some artists, in my more like becoming an adult moment with Kate Bush and My Brightest Diamond. And I discovered this artist named Jessica Hoop, and these really female artists that were really unique. And they wrote really unique words, and they had beautiful, interesting voices. And that was pretty influential, I think, as a songwriter, to be like, yep, I have this kind of crew of women to inspire me. And they're still working and producing and creating music. I mean, at least My Brightest Diamond and Jessica Hoop are, and I've gotten to see them and meet them, and it was it's just sweet stuff. So
That does sound interesting as well too. We'll talk about your journey going from Virginia to Boston to New York City and more as well too, and some of your works and your current release, Rocksteady, and more. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by SonicWeb Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Look at a professional website without breaking your budget. SonicWeb Studios is the answer. SonicWeb Studios offers fast, affordable custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today, 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 20% off your first project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, time to give official shout out to our official sponsor of the Mike Wagner Show, international warring author Mia Molson-Zia. If you love fast-paced mysteries, you'll love Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing is fast-paced and intriguing with an unforgettable twist. Takes place in 4 countries, 2 strangers, 1 target, where truth is an illusion and those you love be the first to go missing. It's available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Missing by Mia Molson-Zia has garnered great reviews and even loved and endorsed by Hollywood celebrities, including Joanna Cassidy, Forrest Riley, and many others. So grab your copy today for It Goes Missing by Mia Molson-Zia, available on Amazon. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books. Remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at a wedding, and even more so at yours. Who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs, huh? Well, the holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift for remembrance makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift for Grandma's recipes or just because, those smiles and tears will just melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw, Picture This Photo Books at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotoBooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books. Bring your memories back to life. The whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you. And don't forget to check out the Mike Wagner Show on over 30 podcast platforms. Take the Mike Wagner Show with you on any mobile device. Subscribe to the Mike Wagner Show on the YouTube channel. Follow the Mike Wagner Show on Instagram and Twitter. Check out the Mike Wagner Show merchandise at themikewagnershow.com. Also on Amazon.com under the Mike Wagner Show podcast. Makes great gifts year round. And for more great gift ideas, go to Amazon.com and check out the Mia Molson-Zia store for great books and merchandise. And it looks like one just got away. Somebody decided to buy one. And I'm glad it wasn't the cat that did that. And also, and don't forget to donate to the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com. Also support us on Anchor FM and PayPal, and make sure you do so today. We're here with a terrific lady, singer, songwriter, grew up in the rural part of Virginia in the least populated county east of the Mississippi River. Elana Brody here on the Mike Wagner Show. And before we talk about your latest Rocksteady, along with a couple of others you have on Bandcamp, YouTube, Spotify, and more, tell us about your journey going from Virginia over to Boston and on to New York.
Cool. Well, to be honest, Mike, it was kind of miserable. I remember moving to Boston. You know, I'm from this beautiful place in the mountains, and I remember moving to Boston and going, all of a sudden I felt like I was in like zombie land or something, you know. It took me a lot to adjust to it. And I would say it's almost a surprise to me that I'm still in the Northeast, but this is what my life has given me for community, which is great. Boston was hard. It was New England. Oh my gosh. I don't know. You know, it's very different than the South. And Berkeley was definitely a world. Really and truly a world. There was so much music there. in the teachers' ears and everybody's experience. You know, most people didn't grow up in the middle of nowhere. It turns out most people are from cities or places with more culture and diversity. And so there was so much music I had never heard before. Truly. Wow. Berklee is a jazz conservatory. And to be perfectly honest, I never listened to jazz. I wouldn't have been able to I didn't have any knowledge on jazz when I got there and, or experience listening. So that was one layer. Then there was even stuff like I'd never really listened to stuff like Earth, Wind and Fire and Steely Dan, all of these, all these bands that I think a lot of the professors that I had in my beginning were really teaching almost like the music of Earth, Wind and Fire, the music of Steely Dan, really looking at the way these artists write songs, right? And for me, it's very foreign territory. And, there was a lot of cool, like Frank Zappa, the Yellow Jackets, all this really interesting prog jazz stuff. And I would say that it's like one of these places where your mind, if you're an open, spongy person, your mind literally might just go. And in some ways, I just absorbed as much as I could and really loved taking world music classes, learning like Indian rhythms and African rhythms and just like learning things that were so far from my roots. And, but it was really early. I'll say this, and this is it will loop us a little bit, but it was really early on in my first semester there that I realized also, well, what is music and why music for humanity? And it, when you're in it, like when you're in the tunnel of Berklee, of this college, it's all about music. You kind of wonder, well, what was everyone doing it for? And I was just like, music is about transcendental experience. Music is about like bringing people out of their mundane life into something bigger and transforming them somehow. It's more of like, it's kind of a mystical tool. So it became clear that was where I was more interested, and I was more interested in mystical experience. And I was also more interested in creating more than learning. So I was consistently writing, creating, writing a lot of poetry, and having basically being in conflict with the school itself, being that it just wanted me to keep going, kind of more narrowly get a degree in a specific thing. And kind of my mother said to me, my mother who'd like lived off the grid forever, she's like, it's cheaper to just have a music teacher. You could just quit, And so I did end up quitting, and I moved to New York. And, there's more to that story, but I moved to New York as my way to say, hey, I'm just going to play. I joined some bands after I quit, and like we started playing gigs out in New York. And then I realized how fun New York was to play music. And I would play till 4 a.m. in a bar.
Oh, wow.
Totally. I had this one gig. It was probably, you asked me like, what was the moment? This might have been one of the moments. Like I was in a gig. I was at the closing act. I might have started at midnight, or I started at 11. I might have started at midnight. I'm not sure. I was the final act of the night. And I just played until the bar closed. Because
free drinks, please stay.
Everyone's just like shouting out, covers for me to play. And I like to make up songs. I just make up songs if I don't have any more to play. I just have, so I played till 4, and I realized how cool it was to just play music and be out. And so I just started doing that. And I ended up in New York when I was 21, and my sister lived here. I moved in with her, and then it's a long story, but I ended up back here after a hiatus in Colorado, and yeah.
Wow, that was an amazing journey. But then you talked about Berklee College of Music in Boston. What was the reason for you to go there in the first place?
Well, I think as I said earlier, like I was like, well, my songwriting was so essentially a part of me as a growing up. You know, I would go home from school and sit down on the piano, you know, and just create. And I always had a song I was working on, one or two, you know, maybe three. You know, I had these ideas that I was working on. I was always puzzle piecing songs into existence. And I had this sort of, you know, I also happened to be really good at musical theater. Like, you know, in my small town, in my small community, I was, you know, the lead in the shows because a part of me is like, because it was a small town, but, you know, it was something I did well. And I kind of was on the fence, like, well, do I want to do that? Is that what my real skill is being a actress? And I didn't get into any of those schools. And then I also didn't, so I was like, okay, I'll just couldn't go to do I go to a liberal arts school, regular school, or do I go to Berkeley? Because I applied to Berkeley too. And it just was like, you're an artist, you know, do that, go there. So that was it. I just did that.
And of course, here you are as well, too, making your rounds and coming back to your Plus Studios as well, too. You also got some music out there, too, like on Bandcamp, Spotify, YouTube. You got Angels of Peace and Stars Out of My Eyes and a lot more. And tell us about some of the songs. If there's some other songs you want to talk about, feel free as well.
Thank you. I'm so happy with what's going on in my life right now with my music. Yes, I've been writing songs since I was 12. And when I went to college, wrote a ton. I've been, writing a lot. And, you know, something about producing songs hasn't been that easy for me, or it just hasn't happened. But then the pandemic somehow got me.
Oh, the infamous P word. Yes. And you were going to do an Americana one. And all of a sudden this happened. Then you suddenly had to change the direction.
Well, you know, yeah, I wanted to make an album way before the pandemic. I mean, I was performing a lot before the pandemic, and then, well, what happened in the pandemic is that I actually started to write a lot, and because we were in lockdown, I shared the music, the new music, very fresh music, with people on the internet. And because everyone was home on their computer, it just like, you know, I could feel how much it was enriching people's lives for me to express myself. And that's really where I just said, you know, I have to get this stuff recorded. And I was recording it myself during the pandemic. And I have camp from what I recorded myself. I basically just ordered this, you know, Focusrite interface. And I said, you know, it's time. I ordered a mic. I ordered a package deal with all the stuff. And I first thing I plugged it in to record was a song called To Hear Your Voice, which I wrote it the day after the uprising in Minneapolis. So a few days after.
Oh, yes. That was it George Floyd? Neck here's like, I can't breathe.
Yeah, it was a few days after he was killed by the police in Minneapolis. And my ex-boyfriend, he and I were together when the pandemic started, but he actually left and went back to Minneapolis, where he's from. And I, to be honest, like, with the death of George Floyd and the uprising and the riots and the flames in Minneapolis, seeing that on the telephone in the middle of the night, and not knowing about my ex and his safety and where he was, or what, you know, where he lived. I didn't know a lot of stuff. So I wrote a song, and it was like literally the first folk song that I've written in many, I mean, I wouldn't say first folk song, but it felt so folky, you know, because something about my father, he actually gave me his guitar probably like a couple weeks before I wrote this song. My father was like a total folk, you know, kind of bluegrass inspired musician. And he has this old Martin that I grew up listening to, and he gave it to me. And then I'm playing it. And so, of course, I'm writing the song that comes out just feels really in that kind of Bob Dylan-y world, and me. It feels like me, but I also, as I was writing the lyrics, and I literally wrote it in one night, all night long. I stayed up all night until I finished the song.
Nice.
So it was great. And then I just felt the lyrics coming together, and just, it was a really amazing experience. So basically I ordered this recording thing and then just recorded it. And then I guess I probably put it on Bandcamp, and then I just I kept writing songs and recording them and putting them on Bandcamp. So basically I have a bunch of stuff that I recorded myself during the pandemic. But what I started to try to do was to build the songs even through the pandemic, and to try to make something a little bit more juicy, not just me and the guitar.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so it started with the song "To Hear Your Voice." It started with that song. I'm like, can we, let's add some stuff to it. So I did a whole remote process of recording "To Hear Your Voice" with some musicians in Brooklyn that are awesome, like Alex Spiegelman and Jefferson Hamer. And actually, so they're all crazy talented, and it was just so great to have them on. And this klezmer trumpeter who has a Grammy named Frank London's on it. And
oh wow,
awesome cellist named Emily. I'm blanking on her last name, is on it. It's only a few people, but and I arranged the cello, and I was like really trying to do this whole thing pandemic style with the demo, using the demo basically. And it's going to be amazing. It's just been an interesting process. Like, okay, I've made that. And then I'm like, did this other thing with some other friends in Virginia. And then we had other musicians pop on to do remote adding. And then, when I got back to New York, in the fall, I was writing more, and I started, well, how do I do this? How do I record this stuff? And it was still like mask time. I mean, nobody had a vaccine. And anyway, I did end up in the studio, like with masks on, with these guys doing one of the songs. And I actually have a few more that are still in the works. And it's kind of like, it's been a long process because of this pandemic. I mean, my friend I was doing one song with, he wouldn't do anything with me until like vaccines and different things. But, anyway, I'm really, this EP is going to be so personal and really kind of true to the pandemic in how I felt during the pandemic. But because it's taking so long to make it, I was like, I have to release something. I have to. And I wrote this angel song, and that whole thing I did remotely, and I did release that in April. And it's so beautiful. And I worked with this producer, Dominic Falacaro, and he kind of came out of nowhere, but he's like a Grammy-winning producer who like is going to be on Broadway in January as the music director of a musical about this pop producer, Max Martin's music. And like, he's really like a craftsman, and he really loves to get shit done. And it's been amazing to work with him. So I made this angel song because I wanted it to like go to the world as a gift, like a pandemic healing salve. Mm-hmm. And it really Mike, just tell me if you want me to stop talking, because I've been talking for...
No, this is actually good. It's a really interesting story, and we'll talk more about it as well, too. And what else do you base your lyrics on?
What else do I base my lyrics on?
What else? Yes. You talk about a pandemic, your experiences growing up with your ex-boyfriend, losing somebody, and with all songs you have, what else do you base your lyrics on?
That's a good question. Sorry, now I'm all twisted. I'm like, I wanted to tell you about the concerts that I did virtually, but I'll hope to tell you about it in a second. Okay. But lyrics are Yeah, I would say there's always some nature that's like written into the lyrics. I think I feel very much connected and interconnected with all of the non-human world beings, all the spirits of my environment, no matter where I am. If I'm in the desert or if I'm in the forest or if I'm in the ocean, like the whole, wherever, you know? So that's always usually in my lyrics. And, you know, as I've been a person of yearning my whole life. Mm-hmm. And so I would say that whether I was yearning for like, it's almost like world peace, you know, it's like I'm yearning for peace ultimately and harmony. And, you know, my early lyrics as a young person were oftentimes like yearning for the world to be better.
Right. Like social activism, then later inserted Jewish spirituality, herbalism, folklore as well. A very interesting mix. And what are some other factors that you combine with those?
I would say, you know, it's really just always just trying to get to the root of a feeling. Okay. And doing my best to be in an authentic expression of a feeling or a story or a yearning. Mm-hmm. And so it's in a way it's like, yeah, and I've become a prayer artist and a prayer leader and a prayer songwriter. So in a way it's so easy to move from this like yearning on a more like, you know, human yearning to like yearning towards prayer, meaning more universal spiritual yearning for redemption and healing for all.
That's rather interesting. We'll have you play Rocksteady in just a minute, talk about your EP and a bit more you're discussing as well. But first, listen to The Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Also brought to you by our official sponsor, The Mike Wagner Show, international award-winning author Mia Molson's Zia Missing, available on Amazon in paperback and ebook. Also brought to you by Picture This Photo Books. Remembering is a key ingredient. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. We'll be back with the amazing singer, songwriter, multi-talented Elana Brody with Rocksteady after this time out.
This edition of The Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Picture This Photo Books, where remembering is the key ingredient. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. And who doesn't miss Grandma's meatballs? The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whatever gift of Grandma's recipes, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809 or visit picturethisphotobooks.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 10% off your first order. Picture This Photo Books, bringing your memories back to life. They're whimsical, casual, or formal, and always uniquely you.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Hey, this is Ray Powers. And if there's one thing you can count on in these unpredictable times, it's that you're in good hands getting some great radio, courtesy of The Mike Wagner Show.
We're back to the amazing singer, songwriter, multi-talented Elana Brody here on the Mike Wagner Show, or should we say Brody here? So my producer, it's like, oh, God, these days. But anyway, we have ready for you. We got Rocksteady, and we'll talk about your debut EP. But first, Elana, let's go ahead with Rocksteady.
You want to hear it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm all ears.
Okay, yeah, so I just wanted to play a little bit of where Rocksteady started. It started on the piano, just me and the piano writing it, and all of you guys who listen to the song, you'll hear that it's now a bump and dance tune, and it always was supposed to be, but here it is in its original form. I'm out in the ocean, wet bodies in motion, crashing like waves on the shores of your stage. High on the mountain, warrior god, in your heavy metal crown, the thunder pound and drum roll sound, and rhythm pulls together with the hard force, heart racing like a dark horse, body shaking on the dance floor. You're making me want more, and I'll be shining like a spotlight when we lock eyes, and you see me in the crowd tonight. I said, my, is that my guy, or do I just want a rhythm to ride? Oh, my, is that my guy, or do I just want a rhythm to ride? And I wanna feel your rock steady, I wanna feel your beat, baby, I wanna feel your rock steady move to the bass groove in your feet, honey. Yeah. I'm getting high on you lately, and it's driving me crazy, just the thought of you, baby. Cause you know just where my spot is. Yeah, you got my body locked in when you hit it in the pocket. Oh, just the way it drops in, and nobody's touch gets me going. No, nobody's rub gets me flowing. No, nobody's love gets me like you do. I said, my, is that my guy, or do I just want a rhythm to ride? Oh, my, is that my guy, or do I just want a rhythm to ride? And I wanna feel your rock steady, I wanna feel your beat, baby, I wanna feel your rock steady move to the bass groove in your feet, honey.
Wow, that is amazing. Rocksteady, Elana Brody here on the Mike Wagner Show. And you also got a debut EP that's coming out. And tell us a bit about that.
Yeah, so all the songs were written during the pandemic, or at least recorded during the pandemic. And it's a bunch of breakup songs, as I was saying earlier, and really, really lyric focus, really like root of my feelings focus. I just really got to drop in and sing the kinds of songs that I listen to. Because, I didn't mention, I've listened to all kinds of music in my life. And I definitely, over the last few years, have definitely seen myself, especially since I moved back to New York, interestingly, I've seen myself really gravitate to country music and folk and country music. And just, I think it's just like a part of me missing Virginia, a part of me missing the mountains of Virginia. And so in a way, the songs I've been writing have felt more like that. Okay, now I'm twanging, now I'm holding my dad's old Martin, and really just finding my way as a folk artist. Like, I really love Jillian Welch, and, Brandy Carlisle came into the radar, and I love that she's kind of country, but she belts, and she's belting like a Celine Dion, that kind of style. Right. So I was loving the merging of that. I also really liked Lady Gaga's album Joanne, and how that had a lot of country writers on it, but it was Lady Gaga, and all of that really inspired me. So anyway, how's the mic? Should I switch back to the other mic?
Yeah, you're doing great, by the way. And just one more thing, where can we find Rocksteady and all your works at?
So Rocksteady is live and streaming on all the platforms, Spotify, iTunes, Tidal, Deezer, the list goes on and on. You can use it on Instagram as a sound. It's everywhere. It's on YouTube. And I made a music video for it, which has been really, really awesome. Mm-hmm. And so that music video is on YouTube. It's so much fun, and I hope you all see it.
It sounds like a lot of fun, too. Well, we're singer, songwriter, multi-talented Elana Brody here on the Mike Wagner Show, played Rocksteady for us. She has a debut EP coming out. Elana, very big thank you for your time. Just a few minutes here. We enjoy having you back in 2021 and beyond. What else can we expect from you in the future?
Yeah, so I wanted to say a little bit earlier about I had these online healing concerts.
Yes, that's right. Okay.
I was just really and it's not really a plug for this year, but next year I'm going to revive them and have these regular healing concerts. They were so beautiful. People can tune in from everywhere, all over the world, because they're on Zoom. They're virtual, where I featured a lot of different artists and their original songs for healing. And, we live in a really hard time. Everybody is struggling in many, many ways. The earth is screaming at us for attention. And, it takes a lot to just kind of feel, to receive healing, good energy. So I found my niche in some ways in offering that and collecting, gathering people to offer that. So please go to my website and just follow me on all the socials so that you find out about that when they come back. They're usually going to be centered around near the new moon, just in that darker time of the month. And certainly they'll happen in the Jewish month of healing, which is called ER, which is probably around, April or May next year. And what else you should look out for is my song Quicksand, which is coming out at the end of September or the very first week of, it's super new. And basically the reason Quicksand came to life is I was writing, I was finishing up Rocksteady and, about to film the music video for Rocksteady. And it's a pop song. It's a dance song. It has a beat. It gets you on the dance floor. It's like really fun. And I realized oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Am I just going to hit everybody over the head with my really depressing EP of breakup songs? And instead I thought, well, why don't you just try to write another pop song and see, and one just came out like Force of Nature came out right before, I went to record the music video for Rocksteady. And, thematically, it's related to moving on from this partnership that ended. And so I was thinking, it's going to lead really nicely into the EP and kind of just like bring us into that world. And it's coming out soon. And I'm going to be in the studio tomorrow recording vocals. And it's something I'm working on with Dom, same producer for Rocksteady. And he's just, we're doing there's a whole quartet of strings on it. It's really awesome.
Oh, it sounds amazing. We're looking forward to it. And who do you consider biggest influence in your career?
Well, as a songwriter, it's always going to be Joni Mitchell. There's no one else. She's the queen. But, it will always be, the crown will always go to Joni. And I think, I'll just leave it at that but I think Joni and I are very different because I am a little bit showier, I have a lot more of this like a center of attention kind of thing.
I can tell in the video as well too. And you do a good job captivating as well too. And what's the best advice you can give to anybody at this point?
Who am I giving the advice to?
It can be anybody or anything in general.
Damn. Wow, that's huge. There's too many people in the world, but let me think. I think it's honor your. Part of me wants to say honor your mother. Honor your mother in the biggest sense.
Yes. I like that one. That's original. I never hear people say that. It's always just do it, go for your dreams. But honor your mother, I think that is terrific, and honor your father too. Don't forget the other half. So
love my dad.
Yes, that's right. We're here with singer-songwriter, multi-talented Elana Brody here on the Mike Wagner Show. Elana, very big thank you for your time. You've been absolutely amazing. Looking forward to having you again soon. Do us a favor, keep us up to date. Love you back in 2021 and beyond. Don't forget to keep in touch. And once again, tell us about your upcoming projects. What's your website? How do people contact you? Where can people purchase or check out your music?
Great. So my website is elanabrody.com. That's elanabrody.com. I'll say it again a little slower. elanabrody.com. My Instagram is Elana Tree Star. Elana Tree Star. My name actually means tree, and and I'm a star. So what are you going to do? Yeah.
Well, and then it's good to know you're learning something. So
yeah, totally. Exactly. And, you can find me on Facebook, Elana Brody on Facebook, and all the music's on Spotify, on Bandcamp, elanabrody.bandcamp.com. There's a lot of music that's kind of like, I feel like it's secret on my SoundCloud. A lot of beautiful music that I've written over the years is on there. That's soundcloud.com/Elana Brody. And if you want to support me, I do have a Patreon, so you can subscribe to my Patreon. You can look me up on there, Elana Brody, and it's just a purely supporting me as an artist kind of thing. It helps me make all this music. And what else? I wish I had merch, but basically all you can buy is on Bandcamp or iTunes or Patreon. I would love to make some merch. But I can just show you. I have this T-shirt. It's kind of funny. Hold on.
Oh, they're great. Okay, so we're looking forward to that too. And you can also check out the Mike Wagner Show at themikewagnershow.com and merchandise as well too. And of course, as Elana gets them the merchandise, make sure pull out your credit cards and checkbooks, debit cards, and you can pay on PayPal and everything. You can pay by phone. I mean, it's just some of the amazing stuff. And once again, we're here with Elana Brody here on the Mike Wagner Show. Just very terrific. And once again, don't forget to check out the Mike Wagner Show on 30 podcast platforms. And Elana, looks like you got your T-shirt with you?
No, I have no idea where it went. I had it earlier and it's gone.
You know what? That's okay. When we have you back on next time, you wear it this time, and keep us up to date, and look forward to having you again soon. So make sure you stay in touch, and you're absolutely fantastic, and we wish you all the best. You've been absolutely amazing. Or you're going to say something?
Yeah, I also wanted to say for anybody who's a real country music fan, I have a song called Stars Out of My Eyes, which has also got a music video on YouTube, and it's on Spotify. So if you're a country music fan, that song is on Spotify. If you're a Jewish music fan and you want a healing prayer for bedtime, my song Angels of Peace, B'Shem Hashem, is online. And right now, Rocksteady, and in a few weeks, Quicksand for my pop music fans.
And of course, to combine all together, Mazel Tov, y'all.
Woo-hoo! Yeah, Mazel Tov, y'all.
All right, thank you very much for your time. You've been great. Looking forward to having you soon, and keep us up to date. And don't forget to keep in touch. You've got a great future ahead of you.
Thank you, Mike.
Picture this photo books, where remembering is the key ingredient. Preserving memories, keeping the memories of your loved ones alive as they reach in and touch your heart. How beautiful your mother looked at her wedding, and even more so at yours. The holidays are coming. What better time to give a gift of remembrance that makes you laugh and cry all at the same time? Whether it's a gift of past holidays, grandma's recipes, long ago moments, or just because, those smiles and tears will melt your heart. Call Karen Shaw at 646-798-0809. Once again, that's 646-798-0809. Or visit picturethisphotobooks.com.
Hey everybody, my name is Forbes Riley, and I'm an American actress and a TV host. And I was delighted when I got my copy of Missing, which is Extraordinary Relation of Ordinary People based on a real life relationship. It's well written. It's amazing. You know, it talks about a man who has lost his wife and his daughter, and it's very well done. I'm going to highly recommend that you go get your copy of Missing. It is a powerful, exciting read. Mr. Mian Moshe Zia. He is the author of Missing. And I want to give a big shout out and a kiss all the way halfway around the world to my dear friend. Check him out at Mia's website. It's called www.miamoshenzea.com. Missing, available on Amazon. Again, I'm Forbes Riley, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.
The Mike Wagner Show is powered by Sonic Web Studios. If you're looking to start or upgrade your online presence, visit www.sonicwebstudios.com for all of your online needs. Sonic Web Studios specializes in custom web design, app development, social networking, search engine optimization, domain registration, email marketing, online stores, and more. Since our birth, we have been designing and developing immaculate websites and providing web solutions which are a cut above the rest. As a leading web designing enterprise, we have a team of extremely talented web designers who are well-focused and have the experience of working on multiple web developing platforms such as PHP, Magento, Custom WordPress, and more. Sonic Web Studios has been helping businesses of all kinds, whether big, small, established, or startup, impress their audiences with exemplary web solutions. We don't just create beautiful and functional websites. We give you a complete online solution with the main goal of enhancing your yearly revenues. We aim to give your business the online exposure and brand acknowledgement that will help you in achieving increased conversions leading to profitable sales. Call 1-800-303-3960 or visit us online at www.sonicwebstudios.com to get started today. Mention the Mike Wagner Show and get 20% off your project. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level.
Thanks for listening to the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show can be heard on Spreaker, Spotify, iHeartradio, iTunes, YouTube, Anchor FM, Radio Public, and themikewagnershow.com. Please support our program with your donations at themikewagnershow.com. Join us again next time for another great episode of The Mike Wagner Show.